But I have to talk to you about something which clearly might occupy mind space, at least as far as the big retail giants in America are concerned. The change of guard at the center has meant that there is a big question mark on the FDI and multi-brand retail policy. What is the current legal position right now? Because we haven't seen an order which has scrapped the earlier notification which was there. At the same time, the position of this government is very clear. They are not in favor of FDI and multi-brand retail. So where does it stand?
Well, the earlier government had permitted FDI in multi-brand, and we've not had any fresh cases after this government came in. But this is an area which the government will discuss, debate, and arrive at a decision in due course. But the cash and carry model for many companies is still going on, as it is going on for the Walmarts of the world. They're doing cash and carry, and we've opened up e-commerce, business to business, 100% FDI. So all of them can come in and do 100% FDI.
But isn't that the irony? Isn't that the irony that you're allowing an Amazon in but not a Walmart?
No,
to do retail.
So if Amazon can come in and do 100% FDI on business to business, which is the way China has grown actually. The whole story of Alibaba is a story of business to business FDI, because if you can create an Alibaba in China with that, and Amazon can do business on the same model in India, so Walmart can do as well. And
but you're saying B2B is fine, but it's the retail piece. But what's happening right now with some of the large players, whether it's eBay, whether it's Amazon, they are all doing B2C at the end of the day.
No, so my view on retail is that actually India is again going to use technology to bypass the brick and mortar approach altogether. And actually, India is one of those countries who's going to use innovation and technology to actually cut across the brick and mortar. And it's time for companies like Walmart and many others to look at this model of FDI through the e-commerce route. So that is where India has a pretty liberal regime of 100% FDI, and many companies are doing well. Actually, some of our own entrepreneurs, like Snapdeal, have done outstandingly well and taken on the Flipkarts and the Snapdeals have taken on all these international companies, and we have encouraged our young entrepreneurs to take on international companies in this world.
So if I get this right, you're saying that perhaps a message that will even go out to some of the retail giants or to the American delegation is that India is fine. India has no issues with some of the retail companies coming in, but the route has to be e-commerce and B2B, and where 100% FDI is allowed.
Already allowed.
But the multi-brand retail brick and mortar format is something the government is still against.
Sure, that's an issue which the government still has to discuss, debate, and decide and take a final call.
I spoke with the finance minister yesterday, and he said the position remains the same. But at the same time, we don't understand the legality. What's the legal position? We haven't seen a scrapping of the order.
No, there's no scrapping of the order. The legal position is exactly the same.
So rightly as the can go ahead and attract.
Exactly in the manner in which FM mentioned, it's exactly the same status quo. But this central government has not discussed, has not yet had time, and rightly so. I think it has moved forward with a vast number of other areas of growth.
Okay, but on one hand, you've got Chandrababu Naidu here in Davos, who's meeting up with Walmart executives and saying Walmart should come and set up shop in his state. On the other hand, you've got the finance minister who says that the government's position is. So aren't we sending out conflicting messages to investors?
So I think the important thing is that, India is bigger than 24 countries of Europe. And I think that's the message which the Prime Minister has been sending out, that states must compete with each other.
So the government again goes with the policy that states can go ahead and do that, because at the end of the day, legally, the order is still in place.
Legally, it is in place right now.
But
we've not had any fresh applications on multi-brand.
Naturally, because you've got such a clear position of this government, so no fresh applications have come through. And the one that was already there stands. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. I have to talk to you further about e-commerce, because again, you seem very excited about it. It's clearly the next big story as far as India goes. A lot of talk about regulating e-commerce firms. Now, is that something that will turn into a reality? Because many believe that will be the beginning of the end that we're going to see of the sector, even before it's taken off.
I don't know. I mean, I find media in India pretty amazing about talking about regulating or guiding e-commerce.
But these are noises we've heard from the government.
But why do you want to regulate?
We don't want government to regulate.
My view on this, and I'm totally against any kind of regulation in e-commerce, allow the freedom, the flexibility, allow the energy of Indian entrepreneurs to blossom. in e-commerce, and government should keep itself miles off e-commerce, because that's going to be the big area of growth for young Indian entrepreneurs. They're going to use smartphones, they're going to use technology, they're going to use innovation to drive business. And I think government must keep itself at arm's length.
It's amazing that we've got the DIPP secretary telling us that there should be absolutely no regulation when it comes to e-commerce firms.
Absolutely.
Can we take that as the government's position as well?
Well,
because there have been some conflicting signals there as to whether we're going to see some sort of regulations being put in place, some sort of investigations that are going to happen, predatory pricing, and all sort of these issues that crop up.
No, it's a marketplace. People will compete and people will go bust. If you can't compete, you'll go bust. If you compete, you'll get a larger share of the market. But the consumer must distinguish between the good and the bad players. Right. And I think, to my mind, e-commerce is going to be the big story for India because of sheer enterprise, sheer innovative spirit of India, and the fact that we have a very young population. And to my mind, the government must keep itself at arm's length.
And it will become an even bigger story if the government keeps itself at arm's length. It's a big statement coming from you there, that the government should not intervene and allow the e-commerce players to function. Some political noises particularly coming in, saying that on one hand the government is not allowing FDI in multi-brand retail, on the other hand you've got these large e-commerce giants operating in India, which is a backhand way of allowing them entry.
So
how do you respond to those
allegations? The government
allegations?
has consciously decided that 100% FDI on a B2B route will be permitted. It's permitted. People come in through that route and operate. Indian companies, international companies, all do that. And that's the way Indians will grow. And to my mind, B2B model is a unique model. You can bring in all the small and medium enterprise players. You can bring in all the women entrepreneurs on board. And actually, a company like Flipkart or Snapdeal does that. It actually allows all the small and medium enterprises to sell their product. They've just created a marketplace. And that's the way India must go.
And that's clearly one area where we are seeing healthy competition taking place between both the foreign and the Indian players. Like you mentioned.
Absolutely. You see, the e-commerce model allows small and medium enterprises to a marketplace to sell their products. And that's what we want. We want Indian medium and small enterprises to benefit from the model of e-commerce. And that's what the B2B business model provides.
And right now we've seen B2C flourish, but you believe B2B will be the next big thing here in India?
B2B is the big thing. Some companies want to, what happens in B2C, and I just wanted to clarify that, is the B2C model is basically about inventory. It's about stocking up and then selling. And the only fear on that is that it can lead to large-scale imports. But I think we need to examine that issue of B2C separately.
All right, so B2C is something that we will need to examine in terms of at least allowing FDI and 100%. But you already have large players operating.
Yeah, well, they've adopted different innovative approaches through another player that they sell. But the B2B model, I mean, it's encouraged logistics.
Perhaps need for clarity, not regulation?
No. I think the policy is pretty clear as far as the B2B model is concerned. It's encouraged enterprise. The policy is led to very good play by players like Snapdeal in this. So I think just allow them to flourish.
All right, allow e-commerce players to flourish. That's a message coming from a top government functionary. Mr. Kant, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thanks so much for sparing time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.